You know, I was thinking this morning while I was sipping my coffee about the irony that the Republicans use to divide people. The Republicans, they hate social programs. They hate Social Security. They hate SNAP. They hate Medicaid. They hate Medicare. They hate the Affordable Care Act. Anything for the people, they're against. And there's a simple reason why, and that's because they're so greedy. They want all that money. They want more tax breaks. They want more handouts to give them more money and to exploit the working class. And this has been going on for hundreds of years. They figured out pretty early on that the best way to keep their wealth and their power is to throw poor whites a bone, give them a little bit extra, and then blame their plight on African Americans, on the Native Americans, and so on. And it's still happening today, folks. Over 400 years later, we're still here fighting this battle. It's unbelievable. You think over 400 years that especially poor whites would figure this out and say, look, those folks aren't our enemy. The enemies are the billionaires and the people with the power. That's who we need to be angry at, and that's who we need to go after. Not our fellow people, our fellow Asian Americans, our fellow African Americans, our fellow Native Americans. They're all just trying to make a living and live a life, just like we are. Just like me. I'm middle class. Back in 1935, when the New Deal was instituted and implemented, the Republicans hated it then. They thought the country was going to hell. They railed and railed and railed. All you have to do is go back and look at the record. They railed against Social Security. They railed against labor rights. They said, oh, the country's going to go down the tubes. And guess what? It didn't. It actually prospered. They've never changed. The Republican Party has no longer been the party of Lincoln since about the 1880s. It's all there in your face. And I'm not saying the Democrats are perfect. They're far from it. But when it comes to socialism and the evil word that they use, socialism, there's a lot of social programs that those same Republican supporters and MAGA supporters really rely on, like Medicaid, like SNAP, like Medicare for the older people, Social Security. All these things a Democratic president and a Democratic Congress back in 1935 passed. And some of these MAGA people, and even some Republicans that aren't so extreme as MAGA, rely on these programs and they like them. But yet, how is it the Republican Party convinces them that all this stuff is bad? And it's the Democrats taking it away. It's not. The writing's on the wall, folks. We can't let the Republicans take these programs away from hardworking Americans and the vulnerable. It's just immoral and it's not right. Just to give the rich another tax break and to funnel more government subsidies into their coffers. Get out there and fight like hell.